Hello my friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany and I'm so glad to have you joining me for another Sunday reset. In today's video, we're going to be restocking my fridge and pantry, as well as doing some deep cleaning of my washing machine that so desperately needs it. But first, we're going to get started with breakfast. I am making a pre-made quiche for my family on this beautiful Sunday morning. So let's get this prepared and then we'll get into our cleaning. Grab yourself a snack, something to drink, and let's get started. We're getting started today by Danny bringing in all of the groceries. It was chilly this day and snowing and raining a little bit, so he's all bundled up, but he's going to bring the groceries in for me. And I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who has reached out to me. I posted on Instagram a couple of days ago that I actually was super sick this past week. I thought that I had strep throat. Turned out that I had a tonsil infection and had to go. I went into urgent care twice, and both times I was tested for strep and tested negative. And on the second trip, the doctor actually said, I need you to go to the emergency room. This is not fixable here, and this is very serious. And I ended up getting admitted. Wasn't sure if I was going to have an emergency tonsillectomy, but luckily I did not. And I am sounding so much better. If you know anything about tonsil infections or throat things, I had what's called hot potato voice, which is where your tonsils are so big that it's very, very hard to talk because everything is kind of obstructing your throat. And that was like the key giveaway to the urgent care doctor. And I was really struggling to swallow, and it was getting a little bit scary that I was struggling to breathe sometimes. So I'm glad that I actually went into the hospital, glad I was able to get the help I needed. I am feeling tremendously better. The tonsil is still really big and it's pretty uncomfortable in there, but the pain is very minimal and I'm feeling so much better. So thank you to everybody who reached out to me on Instagram, and sorry there was no Friday foodie video, but I'll try to make up for that extra video sometime within the month. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get these groceries unpacked. When I'm putting away my groceries, I always try to get everything out of the bags and onto the countertop. I feel like this way I have a better idea of what it is that I need to put away. It also lets me make sure that I had all of my groceries delivered, since I do grocery delivery. It's the best thing ever. I love it. It is wonderful for my budget as well, because I'm not just putting random things in the cart. I feel like when I order my groceries, I stay on budget. When I go into the grocery store, I always leave like $100 over, because I leave with different things. I see new things, which sometimes is fun, and it's good to do that from time to time. But ordering groceries for me is just where it's at. So as you can see, my fridge was pretty darn empty. And while it's this empty, I'm just going to take a second to wipe it all down and get it clean, and then we're going to get it restocked. A couple of months ago, I reorganized my refrigerator and my pantry, and I have been able to keep it organized for the most part, especially this fridge. I feel like the way that I organized it really allowed for everything to fit. I was able to maximize the space. It's a pretty big fridge. We do have like the extra large fridge because there are so many of us. But I just feel like the way that I have it organized right now allows for me to maximize the space and the storage. So that's been really nice. Sometimes I do have to go in and kind of reorganize after my kids have been in here, and that's okay. That's just the name of the game. The other day, I actually kind of got on them about the pantry. They had left the bread open. There was a towel in there, like the the clear bins were all over the place, and I was like, I know y'all don't walk in here and it looks like this. So I said, I'm gonna go walk away. I'm gonna shut my door. I'm gonna take a little breather. Y'all can fix the pantry. And they did, and it was great. We actually just recently redid their chore chart, so everybody is sharing the duties. My oldest son was the one doing the dishes every night. He was getting really sick of it, and I don't blame him. That's a tough job. I hate it myself. So I'm happy that we were able to renegotiate all of those things. So everything just kind of rotates. Everybody's got a night on the dishes, except for Mom, because I do all the cooking. So we rotate the litter box. I've been asked before what kind of chores my kids do. So cleaning the litter boxes, and because we've got 4 of them, so you can only imagine. Those get cleaned every day. Who's doing the dishes after dinner? Who's in charge of emptying the dishwasher? Who's in charge of cleaning off the table, putting the food away, cleaning up the kitchen, vacuuming the floor, cleaning up the living room and putting away all of the blankets and the pillows, getting those organized, that kind of stuff. Somebody's got to vacuum the stairs once a week, cleaning off the stairs, like bringing up all of the stuff that's been piled up. So with 5 kiddos, it's really easy to kind of spread the chores out, and it works out really well. So that's what we do. And we've just, like I said, recently started rotating them, and everybody seems much happier with that. We do pay an allowance. Not everybody believes in paying their kiddos for household contributions, and for a long time we didn't. However, everybody is at a place where they would like to have a little bit of spending money. And I think that it's a great way to teach your kids responsibility with money. My oldest, my daughter, she's 16 and she really wants a job. I told her this summer I was totally down for that, but I'm trying really hard to keep her from having to work if she doesn't have to. So I'm happy to pay her to have her help out around the house and, keep her from having to get a job yet if she doesn't have to. She's got a really crazy load with school and full-time dance, and the summer is coming. That's a perfectly appropriate time to get a job. So we shall see. Do your kids do chores? What kind of chores do your kids do? I'm very curious to hear how things are in other homes. I know there's so many different approaches to chores when you have kiddos, so I'd love to hear how things are done in your home. One of the herbs that I always have in my refrigerator is cilantro. I love cilantro. I think it is so delicious, and I think it's so good to have it fresh on my tacos, my eggs, all kinds of different stuff. So I always try to have it fresh in the fridge, and my family always makes fun of me because I'm such a plant lady. They say, "You're such a plant lady, you even have plants in the refrigerator," which it's kind of true. They're not wrong. I have mentioned these clear containers before that I keep my fruits and vegetables in. I got these on Amazon. I actually got them for Christmas. They were on my Amazon wish list, and I think they're really great for storing things like this. They have that nice little drip pan on the bottom, so it does allow for the water to kind of drip off, and it just keeps them, up and out of the fluid, so it doesn't create an issue with mold or them getting soggy. So I also like to keep my washed strawberries in a strainer like this. I just put some paper towels on the bottom, and then I'm just putting the washed strawberries in here. I don't take the greens off. My kids like to hold them by the greens and eat them like that. So that's up to you. You can poke them out with a straw and eat them that way, but I don't. And then I also keep my washed blueberries here in this is just a berry strainer or a berry container. Not only is it cute in your fridge, but it's also really convenient and it's easy for the kids. I keep them here on the lowest part of the fridge, so that way when they open up the fridge, they see it and they're enticed to grab the good treats and snacks instead of all of the carby stuff. Moving into the pantry to put away all of the dry goods, I will say that I am still loving having this set up here in my pantry. If you have not seen this pantry organize and organize with me, I think I called it. This is such a great video because I was really able to find a way to organize my pantry in a nice looking way, but also incredibly functional. And it's pretty much stayed that way. It's been really, really great. So I love it. If you're looking for inspiration on how to get your pantry organized, check that video out. I was able to find really affordable items to organize the space, and it's been really, really great for us. And like I said, I just have my kids kind of go back in and clean it up the way that it was when they went in. And because everything has a spot, it's easy to know where things go. And it's really nice when I'm trying to tell people when the kids are like, where's this, Mom? And I just know exactly where it is. And I can just tell them. And it keeps it really, really simple. So love having an organized pantry, and it's been really easy to keep up on. This is that bread organizer that I was talking about. I did pick this up on Amazon. So living on the West Coast my whole life and living in Las Vegas for the past, 15, 20 years, I never needed to worry about my food going stale. It was just so dry there. That was never an issue. You could leave your bread open, no big deal. However, that is definitely an issue here on the East Coast. So I did invest in this for our bread just to keep it nice and fresh, but this isn't something that's necessary, but it does help. The other thing too is that I'm always afraid of critters in my kitchen, and I had a mouse in my car last summer, if you remember, and they can wreak some serious havoc. So I just try to keep the food put away as much as possible. So having these containers, not only does it look nicer and it's easier for the kids when they're pouring their own cereal, I definitely see that and agree with that, but it's also really helpful if you live in a place where you have to worry about critters. These little mini blueberry muffins that I pick up from Walmart every single week. My kids love them. They're so easy to grab in the morning. They're Ryan's favorite. So I always try to have these on hand, and they look super cute on my little cake stand from IKEA. Love those. This is another area in my kitchen I'm not sure I've shown a lot of, and that is where we store our Ziplocs and our plastic wrap, as well as our tin foil. This is actually a spice cabinet, and we needed the dimension right here on our island to kind of fill the whole space, and I thought that this would be a perfect place to house those things so I wouldn't have to give up a useful drawer, and I think it's really, really convenient and a perfect place for those items. Now that we're done putting away all the groceries, we can put away some of the other household items. I just restocked my vinegar, so that's good. And I also restocked our paper towels. We were completely out, so I did buy 2 packages of the paper towels. And I just recently redid this closet and cleaned this out, and I felt like this was a perfect place to have these extra items like this. And when we initially had our builder, well, I shouldn't say had our builder, he put this closet here. This was his idea. It is above our basement stairs. I think I've mentioned that before. That's why the bottom is slanted. Originally, this is where we planned to plug in our Dyson. However, they put the plug, but then they put in the shelves. So kind of took that plan away, but that's okay because it ended up working out. We actually keep our printer in here. It is a cordless printer, so we don't it's wireless, so I don't need to have it connected to my computer. So just having it kind of tucked away in here is perfect. So I don't have it in the guest room, which is great. So it all worked out the way it was supposed to. But when we originally were talking about what we were going to use this closet for, we thought it would be a great place for this overstock stuff like paper towels and toilet paper, medicine. So that's what it houses: medicine, my cleaning products, our printer, paper towels, and then I do have the toilet paper rolls down at the bottom. And it's really, really convenient and a great extra place for storage. Another item that needed refills was my air freshener in our powder room. I used the Glade air freshener. I think this is called Vanilla Passion Fruit, I think. It smells really nice. It's not overbearing. I keep it on the lowest setting, so that way, it just kind of fills the space, kind of saunters out into the entryway. And it comes in a pack of 2. Usually that's the one I purchased. Then I just put the extra one down here in the bottom. And then I feel like that bathroom is always nice and fresh smelling. Okay, and now we're going to get into some heavy duty cleaning. We're going to work on my washing machine. As you can see here, it desperately needs it. It's got a ton of buildup of grime and dirt and grossness. It smelled really funky and it just needed to be cleaned out. It's really interesting. I get a very weird smell in my washing machine. I think part of it is because we have super hard water where we live. There's a ton of granite in our dirt and in our ground, and it just creates like a really hard water. So we get a lot of buildup from that, but we get a really weird smell. It's not moldy smell. Maybe it is. I don't know. It kind of smells like cigarettes. It's so strange. I have cleaned it out with vinegar and it doesn't seem to get rid of it. So I'm hoping that deep cleaning it like this is going to help. I do leave the door cracked all of the time, so it doesn't, get too wet in there. I do let it dry out, but I have not deep cleaned it since we moved in. It's been about 1.5 years now, so it is due. So that's what we're going to be doing. And I shouldn't say 1.5 years. It's been 15 months. But I'm using our steamer here. Danny actually picked up this steamer to clean our car after we had the mouse infestation. He cleaned my whole car with this steamer, and it's actually been so useful. I used it in our oven and it was excellent. So I am just making sure that it's working here. And then we're going to use this steamer to help clean the door of the washing machine because it had all this built up like hair and dirt. And so just kind of power steaming it like that took it right off. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it was so gross. I'm so glad I did this chore. It was very satisfying, but so disgusting. And I am so squeamish about stuff like this. I hate hair, grosses me out. Wet hair is the absolute worst. I don't clean drains. That's not my thing. I'll clean just about anything. Like I can handle people getting sick and all that stuff, but I can't handle wet hair. It's so gross. So I am so glad that I did this. It needed it so badly, and the steamer just made it really, really easy. So we're going to take some time to steam clean the door, steam clean the rubber trim, and then we're going to give it a deep rinse and wash from the inside, and it made a huge difference. this rubber rim right here is what I think causes the majority of the funky smell. I think it just gets kind of yucky in here, and so I was steaming it to kind of get everything loose, and then I went back in with multi-purpose spray to clean it really well. I actually think I might go in with some vinegar spray, and I also saw on Amazon that they have some like anti-mold stuff that you can put in here, and I think I'm going to purchase that actually as soon as I'm done with this voiceover. I am going to go pick that up because I can see how this gets really moldy in here. And so, you know, making sure that you are regularly cleaning this. There is nothing worse than trying to clean something with a dirty tool, and the washing machine is one of them. Back in Vegas, this was never something I worried about. I would run a vinegar rinse through my washing machine regularly, but it never, ever, ever did it get moldy. But things get moldy out here, and I have to be aware of that and do better. So one of the things I've been seeing lots of people doing, especially all over Instagram, is cleaning this bottom section down here, which I've never done. So I was nervous. I didn't know what was going to come out of here. I actually made Danny come help me. And one of the things that you got to do is open up this valve and release like all the extra water. This is stinky, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. It is really stinky. It smells like rotten eggs. Get it out of there. The water just kept coming. It was clean. It was just old water that had been sitting there. So he would hand it to me. I would dump it out. He would do some more. And I think he did a total of 2 times, and all the water came out, and then it was fine. But just, you know, extra water in there, no big deal. Just get it cleaned, get it emptied, and then we were ready to go. So there we go. Sorry, 2.5 times, I guess he had to fill the bowl. And then that little round circular thing that you see beside him, there is actually like the filter. And so he took this out, and this was gross. It had like a broken hair tie on it. It had some hair. Definitely wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, considering I had never done this before, but there's the broken hair tie. Like, yeah, it's got some hair on it. No big deal. I literally took it to the kitchen, rinsed it out, gave it a good wash. And while I was doing that, Danny was in here cleaning out this other part. So I watched a few different people do this, and they use like a bottle brush or like a toilet bowl cleaner that you can kind of shove in there. Our space was really small, so I didn't feel like we needed to do all that. So he just kind of shoved the microfiber cloth inside, ran it around, you know, a couple of times, and then pulled it out, and it was great. He did spray a little bit of multi-purpose cleaner in there, but it was fine. It really didn't need, you know, a whole bunch more than that. And then he put the stopper back on the water tube there, the water line, and then put that back, and then we put the filter back in, and this part of it was done. It was definitely less scary than I thought it was going to be. I don't know why I was panicking, probably just because I hadn't done it before, and all I kept thinking was, what if like a whole bunch of stuff comes out, and then how am I going to clean the brick floor? I was so paranoid, but luckily it didn't happen. I was worried for nothing. I also picked up these a fresh washing machine cleaner tablets. I think that's how you say it, a fresh. That's how I would say it. And all you do is put the tablet into the drum of your washing machine, and it gives it a good clean for you. So these came highly recommended both on Amazon. They've got great reviews, and I've seen them in many other videos on how to clean your washing machine. So I gave them a shot. I don't necessarily think that they worked any better than like bleaching the tub or running a vinegar rinse, but I don't know. To be honest with you, I haven't done the comparison, but my machine has a tub clean, so that's what I put on, and I let it go to town. It took a long time, but that's okay. I couldn't adjust any of the things. I couldn't change the time or the temperature or anything. I just had to let it run on the tub clean, which was perfectly fine. And while that was cleaning, I decided to just kind of wipe down the outside really quickly. I do this pretty regularly. I'll even take a cloth that I'm about to toss into the washing machine and just kind of dust it off real quick, just to keep it clean. And then I figured I'll just take a second then to work on the dryer while I was here. So my dryer came with these tubes that you add to your vacuum to just kind of get down into the vent and get all of the lint and everything out of there. So that's what I did. I just popped that onto the end of my vacuum, and then it came with this rubber tube that you add as well that just can get like way down in there. So that's what I was doing, and I feel like it did a decent job. I don't know. I didn't see a bunch of stuff come out of there, to be honest, but it did fine, I suppose. I don't know, maybe I just felt better that I did it. And then I just kind of took a second to vacuum off the lint tray itself and put this back in. So I hadn't done that, and you know, I guess you should do that kind of often. I don't know, it seemed okay, but maybe you got to do it a little bit more than just once a year, once a year and a half. I guess I can say I did it, so there's that. The other thing I noticed was that there was this collection of gunk down at the bottom of the door. So random and weird. To be honest with you, I don't even really know what it was. It was like mixture of hair and I don't know, stuff from people's pockets. Who the heck knows? But I just wiped it off, sprayed a little bit of all-purpose spray, cleaned the inside of the glass, and then also cleaned the outside of the glass and just kind of wiped it down in general. I mean, it was really not a big deal. It really wasn't messy. It just was kind of linty, but it was dusted and cleaned and done. And, you know, it's always nice to clean things in something that's clean. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of another Sunday Reset video. Hopefully you found some motivation to tackle something on your to-do list today. I definitely feel like I was productive and got things off of my list that needed to get done. I also picked up this sweet little planter from Walmart that I have had an eye on forever and decided to finally grab it and use it for fruit because I just think it's so cute. But if you enjoyed this video, I would love for you to give it a big thumbs up. I'd love to have you consider subscribing and coming back for more. And I hope you guys have a beautiful week. Stay healthy and happy, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, my friends.